Welcome to the Pot Live Podcast. I'm your host, Lenny G, and I can't believe it. We've already broken through 100 episodes. We want to thank you, the listeners, thousands of you that have sent beautiful comments, beautiful notes to us. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoy it. This next year, we're going to bring you the thought leaders, entertainers, trailblazers, CEOs of all the cannabis companies you want to hear from. People that are inventing new products, people that are bringing this cannabis industry to the mainstream. We are going to offer you education, value, and entertainment. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Looking for the only one-stop online platform in the cannabis industry? Then you have to check out MJ.com. MJ has it all. The latest news and trends, exclusive original content such as the MJ CEO interview series featuring celebrities and business leaders, and best of all, delivery of your favorite cannabis products straight to your front door. That's right, MJ.com now offers statewide delivery of your favorite cannabis brands directly to your home or office in California. Check out MJ.com today.
And we are back. This is Lenny G, and we are at the Pot Live Podcast. And today, our special guests are the co-founders of Wisdom Essentials. That's right. They are hitting the CBD industry from another angle. Wisdom Essentials is on a mission to help modern midlifers be well in mind, body, and spirit. Through natural botanic and CBD formulas and holistic education, they are aiming to help people live their best lives. Mr. Denis Keane, Mr. Tom Lamb, co-founders, welcome to the show.
Great, Len. Thank you very much.
Thank you, awesome. Lenny G. Love it.
Yes, excellent. So happy to have you guys on. So let's start off with just a little background. Tom, I'll start with you. Tom, give us a little background of who Tom Lamb is, where you came from, and how you got into the CBD industry. And then Denis, you do the same, please.
That's great. Well, thanks, Len. Again, I appreciate it. So Denis and I have known each other since the first day of freshman year in college. We walked into the same dorm room at Stanford Hall of Villanova University and have known each other ever since. So it's a long kind of great story of us kind of just being together for pretty much our entire adult lives. I spent 30 plus years building great brands as an ad and marketing guy for brands like MasterCard, Intel, Kodak, little brands that maybe nobody heard of. And now we're building a brand of our very own, which is really exciting. Wisdom Essentials is a great passion project for the both of us, and we're very excited to kind of, build this company together.
Great. Denis, how about you?
Yeah, that's great, Tom. Yeah, so it's a long story for Tom and I, but for me, a few years ago, I was having bad cholesterol problems. I was having some health issues, and I was put on pharmaceuticals, anti-cholesterol drugs, et cetera. And it was interesting. It was, I was just about 50 years old, and a lot of the people I was talking to, everybody was like the same thing, like, what cholesterol drug are you on? It kind of became a joke. So I kind of, went on those drugs for a while, and then I went back a year later, and my cholesterol was even higher. So he wanted to up my dosages. I kind of had that lightning bolt moment where I was like, this is just not good. So I decided right then and there to throw away the pharmaceuticals and get myself healthy. And through that, I started researching more natural products on how the earth can maybe save me as opposed to pharmaceutical companies. And that's kind of what led me on this journey to get into CBD, which is just an amazing compound. I told Tom my story, and he kind of researched it and got into it. And the rest is history. Here we are starting Wisdom Essentials.
Well, I love that you guys know each other for so long, and then you obviously get along great, and that's pretty cool. So tell everybody, what is Wisdom Essentials? Obviously, there's a million CBD brands out there, but I love that you have trademarked the Modern Midlifer. So tell us how that came about and what that is exactly.
Yeah, so Lenny, thank you. Modern Midlifers is really important to us. Obviously, as Denis said, we are both Modern Midlifers. So we like to say we are the brand and we live the brand. So we're walking that journey with everybody. We knew when we were looking out at the CBD landscape that there were kind of a lot of, frankly, bad brands and bad products that were in the market. So that's one. And then for years, we were looking at kind of like everything focused on kind of, younger targets, right? CBD and CBD products were being positioned as a trendy or luxury product. And when we looked at it, we said, wait a minute, there's some real value here for people our age who are dealing with anxiety and sleeplessness and pain. And as Denis said, instead of like the pharma products, we were looking for a natural aid, for these things. And that's what got us to, basically CBD for Modern Midlifers. The important thing, Lenny, around Modern Midlifers specifically is, it's the we're not dead yet kind of, set, right? The people who are still very active, living better, living longer, looking for natural alternatives, very active and curious. And that's really the market that we're trying to tap into here, and how we're positioning Wisdom Essentials different than all of those other brands that you were talking about in the CBD space.
Yeah, it's funny. I own MJ.com, and we do a lot of blog articles on the subject that you just described. And I love to have different brand owners on our Pot Live podcast, obviously, because I like to see, how you came to that decision, how you've taken this momentum of natural healing. So Dennis, you mentioned earlier you had a few health issues and you tried to jump into that natural healing. How have you seen any benefit in the way you feel as opposed to using opioids and stuff like that? Like, how have you felt personally?
It's just a world of difference. I wake up feeling fresh and clean. And don't get me wrong, it's not just the natural products. I lost weight. I changed my diet, and I went to more natural products. I'm 56 years old, going to be 57 soon, and I'm not on one prescription medication. I don't take anything pharma whatsoever. And I'm like one of my only friends at my age group that is like that. And it just feels more natural, and I feel healthy and good, and I feel vibrant. I think I look good. So it really made a world of difference for me.
And that's the important thing, right? Is feeling good, because, your mind controls a lot of your health issues, whether people want to believe that or not. And if you feel good, if you feel confident and you feel like you're healthy, maybe your body will follow suit, as strange as that may sound. But I've heard this story over and over again doing this show of people like what you just said, Dennis. And it's true. It's true. I even know it in my own life, and what you're doing is pretty cool. So Tom, tell us, how are you targeting the midlifers as opposed to, everything on social media, let's say, is all geared towards the younger generation and what's hip and cool, right? So how are you targeting the midlifers?
Well, so, on wisdomessentials.com and in all of our social platforms and our marketing, our emails, the blogs that we're writing, the podcasts, frankly, that we're doing as well. So we have a podcast series of our own, and we're talking to successful modern midlifers who are making their transition. We're sharing those stories. We're really celebrating what it is to be a modern midlifer. Again, people like us who are, as I said before, active, curious, really looking to live better and longer, and without kind of the stigma of kind of taking all the junk, that's out there to feel better. So that's the way we're doing it. We're talking specifically to this target about the issues that they are dealing with, that we are dealing with. And we're trying to position to folks just like ourselves that, you don't need to be, feeling bad and reliant on all that garbage. Dennis was talking about the opioids before. When we first started this journey together, he had a Ziploc bag of opioids that he kept in his sock drawer. I had, a huge Ziploc bag of opioids that I kept in my sock drawer. And we looked at them together and we said, this is silly. We got to stop this. And so that's how we're doing it. Lenny, we are talking specifically to modern midlifers about their life and helping them to hopefully, live their best lives in mind, body, spirit.
And Tom, you said you came from a marketing background. That was you, right, Tom?
That's correct.
Yeah, and from an advertising background. So how have you seen the difference in your previous life of advertising with the traditional businesses that you mentioned versus some of the obstacles with the CBD/cannabis world?
Definitely. I mean, I had done some work in some categories that are a little bit restricted and a little bit, I'd say more watched, right, to make claims and benefits and things like that. Forewarned is forearmed, but really bringing all that kind of brand understanding into this category, really helps. Obviously, we are not making claims, right? We're not allowed to. We want to be very compliant. Frankly, we talked about before, there's a lot of bad brands and a lot of bad products making wild claims. We don't want to do that. We want to truthfully tell folks what CBD is, how it kind of relates to their lives, and then let those folks make their decisions. But the basic branding, Lenny, from doing a good brand, doing great content, making things that look good, making copy that really kind of works and resonates with people, all of those tenets still apply. We just have to be really sure that we are compliant with all of the language that we use.
Yes. And Dennis, looking at your website, and for everybody out there, the website is wisdomessentials.com. You can check out their product line, their blog, everything about these gentlemen and their awesome brand. But the one thing I like is that you have 3 of your products. You have the Dream, the Calm, and the Focus versions of CBD. And I think for newbies out there, or people that are jumping into this, I like that you label it like that, because can you talk, I guess that's what I'm asking. Can you talk about the difference between the three? Because a lot of people don't know which type of CBD to take.
Right. Well, one of the tenets of our brand is that we're not just CBD. We've mixed in other, compounds and nootropics and things like ginkgo biloba, and for focus. So we believe that CBD is an amazing compound, but it's not a miracle drug. It needs to be mixed with and wrapped around other nutraceuticals. So we had a pharmacist and chemist and physician all come together and come up with our formulations. So for me, if I take CBD to go to sleep, it helps me relax, but it doesn't, quite do it for me. So we mixed ours with, with things such as melatonin. So the CBD with melatonin, I do that at night, and then, I'm out. So it works.
Great. So I guess the focus line is more of, during midday or at work or whatever you want to kind of stay with it.
I actually take focus first thing in the morning. Kind of gets me that little spark to get going. I don't need caffeine. I don't drink coffee anymore. So the focus kind of, gets me started during the day. In the afternoon, if I'm getting a little wound up, the calm kind of puts me in that right zone.
What do you mean? It's 2020. Everything's fine this year, isn't it?
Yeah, if there's ever a time for calm, it's now. So I use the CBD 3 times a day. Typically, I'll use the focus. I always use the focus in the morning, and I always use the dream at night. And then depending on how my day is going and how crazy 2020 is, I'll use the calm in the afternoon.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so Tom, tell everybody a little bit about your thoughts. I keep going back to you for advertising, and the reason I'm going to ask similar questions is because a lot of our listeners are business owners, and they're just running into those marketing hurdles, right? Absolutely. So have you found any tricks that, you don't have to give away secret sauce if something's working for you too well, but what's the best way for you to reach a consumer while these restrictions are still there?
That's a really great question, and I would be lying if I said I had the silver bullet either. I think honestly, it is really just kind of hard work, staying true and disciplined about who you want to talk to and why you want to talk to them. The world is very digitally oriented right now, right? So there's lots of algorithms in there trying to either boost your message or to tamp it down. And so really my message to everybody is find your target market, continue to talk to them, be relevant to them, and really, continue to kind of to dig, right? I use this metaphor a lot in the past that, nobody finds the treasure with their first shovel full of dirt. You have to just keep digging and digging and digging, keep doing the work, and then all of a sudden you're going to hit payday. And that's what we're doing now. We're staying very relevant to our target. We're marketing. We're working hard to develop our communities, both socially and through our email channels. And that's the way it's working right now. That would be my advice to everybody out there who's trying to build their brands.
Great, thanks. And Dennis, so I know you have the tinctures. What other products does Wisdom Essentials offer at this point?
Right now we have gumdrops, which is also our calm formulation, just in a different format. And we also have a great Soothe product, which is a roll-on for pain and any kind of muscle soreness, which, I think for me, it saved my back.
I love those. I use those a lot because I have a few different sports injuries and I use them a lot, and I love using the topicals.
I played ice hockey for about 25 years, so I have all kinds of aches and pains now from that. And I find it great. Yeah, the CBD really works well with that.
Great. All right. So guys, before we wrap it up, I want to ask each of you a question basically about the overall industry. Give us something and Dennis, I'll start with you. Give us something that concerns you about the industry, whether it's CBD, cannabis, hemp, however you want to define industry, and something that excites you. Concern and an excite. Okay.
Well, obviously the concern, I'm sure, is the same as almost everybody has, is the ambiguity with the FDA. I think that really needs to get settled on how they're going to approach this market. So I think the unknown there is, I think everybody in this industry has the same one there. What excites me is actually when we get a review back from people and they say, oh my goodness, I haven't slept this well in such a long time, or you've really helped me be calm during 2020. I love getting those types of reviews because that's what we're here for. That's what makes this all worthwhile, and all this hard work is when somebody writes something to us or calls us, frankly, and says, wow, thank you so much for this.
Yeah, that's great. And Tom, same question for you.
Yeah, so I think what worries me a little bit is that the preponderance, again, of the bad guys, I'll say, like gas station sushi, right? You can get $19.99, CBD at a convenience store. That stuff kind of puts the whole category, I think, at risk for making kind of bad claims and putting inefficient products in the market. People try them and say, there's nothing in here. It doesn't work for me, whatever. I think that could potentially give the industry a black eye. What excites me is that I think more and more brands are getting better, like ours, frankly, and we're doing it the right way. We're trying to excite customers, like Denis just talked about, by putting great products in the market that are actually working for them.
That's fantastic. So besides the website, wisdomessentials.com, everyone out there, is that the best place for people to reach you and learn more about your company? Just go to the site, or do you have other avenues?
Yeah, we have all the social media platforms, obviously Facebook, Instagram, etc. But wisdomessentials.com is really kind of the go-to place that has all of our information. And, like we've said a couple times now, Denis and I are the brand. We're very accessible owners. We want to talk to individuals if they have questions about the category, about our product specifically. We really want to talk to those folks and help as many people as we can.
That's great. You guys seem super likable and super into your brand. And that's really refreshing to see. A lot of people are, just have a different message sometimes. And you guys seem to have a really positive message. So I wish you the best of luck. Tom Lamb, Denis Keane, co-founders of Wisdom Essentials. Thank you so much for taking the time today to be on the show.
Thanks, Lenny G.
Thank you.
All right. And we will see everyone next time on the Pot Live podcast. If you are into the recreational side of the cannabis industry, yes, stoners, I'm talking to you, then thepot.com is the online and mobile destination for you. That's right, THEPOT.com, thepot.com. Where else can you find the exclusive Pot Mate of the Month? Take a pot quiz and win prizes. Scroll through hilarious memes and jokes and check out the latest podcasts, news, and trends, all while having your own profile and voice in the pot.com forum. Visit thepot.com today and get lit.